Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University and Champions, issue number 6, War of the Realms tie-in. I believe this is going to be the final of the War of the Realms tie-ins for the Champions, because, I mean, War of the Realms 6 is coming out next week. I don't think we need a whole bunch more of tie-ins for that book. It's like, oh, here's issue number 40 of the War of the Realms tie-in. It just ended last month, dude. We good. We done. So, this was a fun book that has the potential of also being thought-provoking, but we're going to have to see about that. First, let's get into who made this book. This is Dead Ahead. Jim Zub is the writer. Juanan Ramirez is the artist. Marcio Menez on colors, and VC's Clayton Cowles on letters. Turn the page, because it's a Champions book, and we also see that Kim Jacinto and Rain Barreto are the cover artists, and no, that's it. That's it. We're done. There's no variant cover. So we got this huge team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people on this team. Not all of them show up. There is some consistency here. Case in point, Amadeus Cho, Braun. He's over in the new Agents of Atlas books. But there's some people here who aren't really supposed to be here, and that's a little bit annoying. Like Giant Man, he's actually supposed to be over in the Giant Man book, the War of the Realms tie-in. And yeah, it's weird. But that's not the only character. I mean, Danny Moonstar, she's in 2 different books. One's in somebody's mind, the Age of Apocalypse, and the other one is actually on the streets, also tied in with the War of Realms. So consistency, it's not a thing at Marvel for the most part anymore, when that used to be one of the main defining aspects of Marvel when it first existed. This book, however, has, first off, it has great art in it. The second thing it has is Jim Zub on writing. I've mentioned this before, here it comes again. If Jim Zub is going to write a tie-in book, he's going to make sure it's a tie-in book that actually matters to the book itself. So if you want to get the event that it's tied into, sure. If you don't, that's fine. This is not an ancillary issue. And even when he does make an ancillary issue, like he did with, what was that one? The not War of the Realms, that's what this is. The one before this, Infinity Wars, he made 2 issues. They were crucial to the regular Champions storyline. And I love that. Absolutely love that. So here we get the Desire, whatever these freaks of Asgard are called. They were former Valkyrie, which are undead who, basically just, the guardians of the dead, the bringers of the dead. And rather than work for Hela, they work for Odin. They're actually operating out of Valhalla, which is not in Niflheim. But these are outcast Valkyries. So as the Desire, they work directly for Hela. They operate out of Niflheim. And they're looking for some kind of redemption. They're being promised a title and just basically a way out of subservience by trying to team up with Amora in South America. I love this. Even though we don't see Amora in this, go and look for Kelly Thompson's War of the Realms tie-ins with Captain Marvel. Really good story there also. We are actually getting more than one story out of South America, and it's about damn time. It's about damn time we got any stories out of South America, right? So how is it the War of Midgard if not every place is represented? So in here, they're trying to get a step up. Unfortunately, by doing that, they've got to go against the wishes of Hela, and that's going to potentially get them into trouble. We see that in this book. We don't see the consequences of it, but we know there are going to be consequences. Love that. Love that. This means that there's a potential story in the future, and there damn well should be. Zub has it so that Miss Marvel actually sees her own death. No, not in general in the future. No, but in the past. Because if you remember, she already died. Miles Morales made a deal with the devil. A Spider character made a deal with the devil, Mephisto. Son of a gun. like, shouldn't that just be some spider knowledge that's passed on, And it's like, it's in with the rule book, kiddo. Here's how to shoot your web slingers. Here, in this chapter, don't mess with Mephisto. It'll never work out in your favor. what happens here is she gets to see a glimpse of how she actually died, and Miles holding her dead body. We know how much this affected Miles. Miles is already being affected by a whole bunch of stuff. I see Miles potentially having a nervous breakdown. I mean, remember the school shooting not too long ago? There's a lot happening with Miles right now. Zub is great with internal conflict, which is, you go back to the old-timey writers for Marvel, they'll tell you straight up, nobody cares about the external battles that, guys are going to fight. It's like, oh, who's the villain of the week? Who's the villain of the month? Who's the villain of this issue, of this arc? Whatever. It's the internal struggle that affects the comic book character, the main character, or the team in this part. Any question as to why Jim Zub enjoys writing team books so much, just look at the fact that he plays Dungeons and Dragons. So, Dungeon Masters, they work with more characters than any individual player. And this guy, he's writing Miss Marvel freaking out and potentially wanting to leave the team as the leader, at least, because she saw this glimpse of her death. And of course, the only way that she was going to be able to see that was by getting into a fight with a potential Desire, whatever these things are called, which is, hence the War of the Realms tie-in. So if you can see I am going to call it three-dimensional chess in this particular case, look at how Zub is asked, hey, do you want to write a War of the Realms tie-in? And he says, let me think about it. Ooh, I've got a great idea how it'll already tie into my current story. Yes, I'll be happy to. Why don't we get writers like this all the time? I'm not calling anybody's individual names to cast shade on them or anything to that effect. That's not my modus operandi. That's not what I'm here for. I am, however, here to give praise where it's due. That is it should be a basic concept, right? Yet it's clearly not. So what will happen with this? I have my speculation, my hope almost, that Miss Marvel explains that it doesn't actually affect me the way that you might think. That, oh my God, I saw my own death. I saw that I was actually dead once. I can't handle it anymore. But that could work because she's a teenager still. So that could perfectly work. Teenagers, one of the core components of what a teenager is someone who's too stupid to realize that eventually they're going to die. What do you mean? This fast food that I'm eating, it doesn't look like it's affecting me. And then when all of a sudden, bunch of years of eating fast food suddenly hits you, and you're like, I better start going to gym. Yeah, you better go to the gym at the very least for as long as you've been, stuffing those fat burgers in your body, until you hope to actually see some desired results. Because, look at what you've done over the long run. The idea of, I'm going to do activism and I dare a cop to give me a problem about it. Cops shoot people. So, they don't carry those guns for decoration. Those things are loaded. So, young people usually have a problem. I know, I experienced it. I was young once too. Sometimes I'm surprised I made it to old age, by all rights. So what this could be instead is that she is a strongly empathetic individual. But maybe when she actually sees it happening for herself, instead of being able to rationalize on her own, this is how Miles felt. No, she's actually seeing Miles holding her own dead body in his hands, and she's realizing how this affected him, how that was real at the moment. And he didn't understand. He's a kid too, don't forget. He didn't get that somebody else could wind up dying instead. And that's just the way that Mephisto works. He's going to hit you with that nuance, the stuff that doesn't seem like it's going to matter at all until it does. So what exactly is going to happen with Miss Marvel? Why exactly did this bother her so much? I don't know, but just look at all the potential that is opened up now with this kind of writing. Again, art's pretty damn good too. This was a really, really strong issue. This is one of those forefront leaders of the issues. I like to always make at least one complaint in a comic book. So at least I can show I'm trying to, be thoughtful on the other side also. Got a sneeze coming up. And the thing that that bugs me just a little bit is this wasn't written in a way that someone who's not reading the Champions, but they say, well, I'm getting all the War of the Realms books, I might as well get all the tie-ins and see what's going to come back in effect. The thing that I just complimented Jim Zub about does not work in the exact opposite direction. We got to be fair here. If you've never read Champions before, one of the reasons why you do a tie-in book is to get other readers to jump on your book. If you've never read Champions before, what is the thing that caught your attention with this book? Because you said, oh, it's look at this, War of the Realms. It's a tie-in. I want to collect all the War of the Realms book. Let's see what's so special about this one. Oh, they fought in South Africa. Oh, Mora, but, the Enchantress wasn't actually in it. Oh, Hela's here. Isn't she also dealing with the stuff in Donny Cates' Guardians of the Galaxy? What? I don't understand where this... There is nothing to tie in and make you look at this book and say, oh, cool. Instead, you just get Miss Marvel seeing that something happened in the past, and she's like, oh, I don't think I can be the leader. And she just looks like a crybaby in this one because there is no way to tie in all the other stuff that's happened up to this point in the Champions issues, this and the previous volume, both written by Zub and prior to that, Mark Waid. There is no way to really tie that in. So what exactly was the thing? This book worked one way. It did not work the other way, which is the core intent of writing a tie-in book. Does your tie-in cause someone who is a non-Champions reader to suddenly need to read the Champions? No, I do not feel this book does that at all. And that's a damn shame. But is what it is. Anyway, guys, try to be fair. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.